What do you make of the group of death in the Champions League? Because every year, in every single tournament, World Cup, Europa League, whatever tournament, Liga MX, I don't know, any
whatever
tournament,
you want,
there's always a group of death. But this one stood out to me because I think this might be one of the craziest group of deaths I've ever seen. In terms of this one barely even has a weak link, or rather, they're all at a very similar competitive level.
Yeah.
Whereas most times there's always one team. Even last year, I remember it was Barcelona, Inter Milan, Bayern, but then there was one team that was what was it, like a Russian team or
it was
Slavia Prague, I think. But this time, bro, it's Milan, AC Milan, Dortmund, Newcastle, PSG. Rank these teams 1 to 4 for me.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna go Dortmund last.
Dude, same.
I'm going Dortmund last.
Dortmund's ass.
Yeah. I just think
No disrespect.
The only thing about Dortmund is, unlike, let's say, a mid-tier European club that finds themselves in a group of death, is that, Dortmund consistently vie for the title in the Bundesliga. Obviously, they're never going to get it, and they don't have the talent to really compete. But, they're in the Bundesliga, a very competitive league, so they'll be able to match up. But
yes, I don't doubt that.
I don't doubt that. But yeah, I think they're going to finish bottom in this group for sure.
Dortmund, we asked a question last year. What do the mental effects of what they went through last year look like the following season? We asked the same question of Arsenal. Arsenal has found a way to stay stable so far. They're good mentally. Dortmund, though, looks like your friend that just lost a few screws up there, man. They look different.
Go, man.
They look different this year so far. Tying 2 games in the Bundesliga and only winning 1 out of 3 matches so far. By Dortmund standards, that's not very impressive. Maybe they can pick it back up.
Right.
But the players I'm seeing, the additions I saw them get in the transfer window, just not really impressive, man. I think what we're going to see from Dortmund, especially after losing a star in Jude Bellingham this time around,
that's the problem,
is going to be a much, much weaker team.
But then from here, man, this gets really, really tricky because there's a clash of styles. We have 3 top tier leagues essentially playing against each other. If you compare England, France, and Italy, and they're all pretty good.
Yeah.
What gets interesting though is, let's say Newcastle's form right now.
Yeah.
Not the best.
No.
Right? So does that come into play against a high-flying Milan team, right? Or does Newcastle find form mid-October and all of a sudden they can go toe-to-toe with a high-flying Milan team? This is where I think it's going to get as finicky as it can, because I think it literally rides on that.
And then what does PSG land? Do we see them as better than both of them, or do we see them as worse, or at the same level, man? Because they're still, in my opinion, unpredictable. We don't even know what they are.
Exactly. And only because, in my opinion, Kylian Mbappe is a part of the squad.
Yeah.
Him being on the pitch, I think, always gives that team a chance. Now, maybe in a knockout stage, not so much, right? Because obviously PSG just haven't been able to, win the whole thing. But, in a group stage setting, I think Mbappe can always make a game tight. You add in the likes of, a Dembele or Kolo Muani, who, when they're on it, they're incredibly effective offensively. Then I think PSG is a wild card, because they could effectively bag 2-3 goals against all 3 of these teams. But holistically, I would actually put Milan as the better team than PSG right now. Holistically.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think it's fair to say.
With how they started, yeah.
Right. But putting PSG in a third doesn't really make sense. And I'm almost inclined to put Newcastle there only because they don't have the experience.
I'd be down to. I'd be down to, just because of the recency bias.
I think I'm going to.
I'm down.
Yeah.
You can put them third. I'm disappointed in them right now. They're grounded right now.
So they get a third place prediction.
Yeah, dude. Man, I want so much more, and it's still very early.
It's so early.
I don't want people to get carried away, but I'm okay with it right now. They deserve to be put in third.
Yeah.
Milan and PSG, I think, is a very tight race now for first.
I do think so. I can see a 50-50 chance Milan top this group. They're that good, and honestly, I think it would take a really good team to beat them. PSG's a wild card just because of the offensive components that they do have. I could see PSG topping the group, but if I just had to put in a prediction, I'm going Milan first, PSG second.
I think I'm going to agree with you, man. Yeah. I think I am. I don't know if I see PSG having the... I mean, even last year, despite how lackluster the season might have been, they still had Messi and Neymar. They had experience. Sergio Ramos on the defensive line too. There's a element of experience in the Champions League that does pay off. And this team right now, although it seems very fun and very exciting, kind of like a bit of a Tottenham-like effect with how they're trying to approach this season with a new perspective, a new type of team around Kylian Mbappe. Will it pay off? We don't know yet, but I do see more potential in what AC Milan has formed so far.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're firing on all cylinders right now to start off the season. And PSG, I think they're going to end up getting second. They'll do just enough. They'll get by Dortmund, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they catch Newcastle off guard. I do think that matchup, Newcastle against PSG, is going to be incredible, especially when they play at Newcastle.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, all three of the games, Dortmund, PSG, Milan, going to Newcastle is going to be crazy to see.
Newcastle on the San Siro, man.
Man.
My God.
It's going to be nuts.
Newcastle at Parc des Princes, bro.
Right.
That's weird to think about.
Bizarre, bro.
That's bizarre, man.
And I'm here for it, man. I am here for it.
I'm telling you, it's one of the most competitive group of devs I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
At least in terms of the value of the name, probably the one with the heaviest names, the most history behind these teams, bro. Milan, PSG, Dortmund, Newcastle. Come on, man. I can't wait to see how this plays out.